Today's scientific endeavors remain largely confined within the narrow corridors of materialistic thinking. Our greatest minds operate within rigid frameworks that systematically exclude phenomena that challenge established paradigms. This self-imposed limitation has created blind spots in our collective understanding of reality. Consider the multitude of extraordinary phenomena that mainstream science refuses to investigate. Near-death experiences that suggest consciousness beyond bodily function, individuals with remarkable psychic abilities that defy conventional explanation, the preserved incorrupt bodies of high Buddhist monks that resist natural decomposition, NASA's telescopic captures of what some interpret as celestial realms, and the mysterious sounds recorded at depths of 10,000 meters beneath Russia's surface. Perhaps most compelling is China's remarkable village of Reincarnation, where residents carry detailed memories of past lives, memories that have been verified through hypnotic regression. These cases provide compelling evidence for the continuity of consciousness across multiple lifetimes. Such phenomena exist in abundance, yet they remain unexplored by conventional science, trapped in a limbo of academic taboo. The culprits behind this intellectual restriction are materialistic and atheistic philosophies, both fundamentally rooted in evolutionary theory, which has become the unquestioned foundation of modern scientific thought, despite its growing contradictions. What truths might we discover if we dared to investigate beyond these self-imposed boundaries? Darwin's evolutionary theory, proposed in 1859, boldly claimed that humans evolved from ape-like ancestors. His hypothesis included a crucial prediction: that transitional fossil evidence would eventually emerge during the 20th century to validate his claims. Yet, despite extensive archaeological endeavors spanning over a century, these critical transitional forms remain conspicuously absent from the fossil record. What scientists have discovered instead challenges the very timeline of human civilization. Across our planet, researchers have unearthed remnants of sophisticated ancient civilizations dating back tens of thousands, millions, and even hundreds of millions of years. These discoveries suggest something profound: that human civilization hasn't followed a single, linear progression but has instead undergone multiple cycles of advancement and collapse. The scientific community now refers to these findings as prehistoric cultures, acknowledging that humanity has experienced numerous civilizational cycles. After each catastrophic collapse, a small number of survivors would preserve fragments of knowledge, eventually rebuilding and advancing into the next era of civilization. Today, evolutionary theory's foundation has fundamentally collapsed under the weight of contradicting evidence. Numerous respected scientists have acknowledged its fundamental flaws. Yet tragically, many educators and institutions stubbornly perpetuate the notion that monkeys are humanity's ancestors, leading generations of young minds down potentially misleading paths of understanding about our true origins. In the vast tapestry of the universe, humanity occupies but a minuscule thread. Our entire civilization exists on a small planet orbiting an average star in one of billions of galaxies. This cosmic perspective raises a profound question that deserves more serious contemplation. Could we truly be the only intelligent beings in this incomprehensibly vast cosmos? Why does this fundamental question receive so little serious scientific inquiry? Perhaps because it challenges our perception of uniqueness and superiority. Yet, when we strip away preconceptions, what is a deity if not simply a being of higher intelligence, capability, and dimensional existence than humans? Why should acknowledging this possibility inspire fear rather than wonder? The answer may lie in humanity's current preoccupations. Modern society has elevated financial pursuit above philosophical inquiry. The relentless chase for material wealth has diminished our collective willingness to contemplate these deeper existential questions. This represents perhaps humanity's greatest intellectual tragedy. Equally concerning is the complacency that has infected portions of the scientific community. Many researchers have grown comfortable within established paradigms, basking in past achievements, rather than pursuing bold new frontiers of knowledge. Some cling dogmatically to outdated theories, refusing to acknowledge objective realities that challenge their worldview. This intellectual stagnation represents the most unfortunate limitation of contemporary science, a field that once thrived on curiosity and courage. Darwin's evolutionary theory, proposed in 1859, boldly claimed that humans evolved from ape-like ancestors. His hypothesis included a crucial prediction: that transitional fossil evidence would eventually emerge during the 20th century to validate his claims. Yet, despite extensive archaeological endeavors spanning over a century, these critical transitional forms remain conspicuously absent from the fossil record. What scientists have discovered instead challenges the very timeline of human civilization. Across our planet, researchers have unearthed remnants of sophisticated ancient civilizations dating back tens of thousands, millions, and even hundreds of millions of years. These discoveries suggest something profound: that human civilization hasn't followed a single, linear progression but has instead undergone multiple cycles of advancement and collapse. The scientific community now refers to these findings as prehistoric cultures, acknowledging that humanity has experienced numerous civilizational cycles. After each catastrophic collapse, a small number of survivors would preserve fragments of knowledge, eventually rebuilding and advancing into the next era of civilization. Today, evolutionary theory's foundation has fundamentally collapsed under the weight of contradicting evidence. Numerous respected scientists have acknowledged its fundamental flaws. Yet, tragically, many educators and institutions stubbornly perpetuate the notion that monkeys are humanity's ancestors, leading generations of young minds down potentially misleading paths of understanding about our true origins. Traditional textbooks often suggest that belief in divine beings stems from primitive attempts to explain natural phenomena before scientific advancement. This narrative implies that as science progresses, supernatural beliefs inevitably recede. Yet this simplistic view collapses when examining the spiritual convictions of history's greatest scientific minds. Both Einstein and Newton, widely regarded as humanity's most brilliant scientific thinkers, embraced belief in a divine creator during their later years. These weren't men of limited intellectual capacity, but individuals who stood at the pinnacle of human knowledge in their eras. Does this suggest that those who dismiss divine existence while invoking science possess greater intelligence than these towering figures? Newton's third law brilliantly described the causal mechanisms governing universal operations after creation. However, he recognized that science couldn't explain the universe's initial animation, the first mover, that set celestial bodies into their precise, harmonious orbits. Through this reasoning, Newton concluded that God provided the initial impetus for cosmic motion. Similarly, Einstein believed the universe's mathematical precision reflected divine craftsmanship. During a notable interview, when questioned about his religious views, Einstein posed a simple yet profound question to the journalist. Noticing a coffee cup, he asked who had placed it there. When the journalist acknowledged Einstein had, the physicist responded with remarkable insight: "If even a small object like this cup requires someone to place it, who do you think positioned the countless stars in the sky?" Humanity exhibits a remarkable contradiction in its reasoning about design and creation. We readily acknowledge that sophisticated machines and architectural masterpieces must originate from intelligent design. No one would suggest a smartphone or skyscraper emerged through random processes. Yet paradoxically, many insist that human beings, organisms billions of times more complex than any human invention, arose purely through undirected natural forces and chance mutations. This logical inconsistency becomes starkly apparent when examining even a single human organ. The human eye, for instance, demonstrates engineering precision that surpasses our most advanced cameras by at least 1,000-fold. Its ability to automatically adjust to varying light conditions, process millions of visual inputs simultaneously, and transmit this information through neural pathways represents complexity beyond our technological capabilities. Can we reasonably attribute such sophisticated biological engineering to mere cosmic accident? Would we apply similar reasoning to any other complex system we encounter? The natural world, while seemingly chaotic at first glance, reveals profound harmony and precise mathematical relationships upon careful examination. From the golden ratio in nautilus shells to the precise orbital mechanics of planetary bodies, nature demonstrates order that suggests intentional design rather than random development. Such exquisite harmony and complexity logically points to the existence of intelligences possessing capabilities and understanding far exceeding our own, entities that consciously shaped these intricate systems to achieve their remarkable perfection. During a thought-provoking discourse, Einstein articulated a crucial distinction about scientific methodology that remains relevant today. Science can only confirm the existence of something it can detect. It cannot definitively declare non-existence. This profound observation highlights a fundamental limitation of scientific inquiry that many overlook when discussing metaphysical questions. Einstein elaborated on this principle through an illuminating historical example. He noted that several thousand years ago, humanity lacked the technological capability to detect atomic nuclei. Had ancient scientists categorically denied the existence of such particles, based on their inability to detect them, they would have committed a grave scientific error, as modern discoveries have conclusively proven these particles reality. Applying this reasoning to theological questions, Einstein concluded, contemporary science cannot verify divine existence, not because deities don't exist, but because our cosmic understanding hasn't reached sufficient sophistication. This represents a position of intellectual humility, rather than dogmatic denial. Einstein's final assessment on this matter remains particularly insightful. Though human sensory perception is inherently limited and cannot directly perceive divine presence, science itself has no legitimate grounds to deny such existence. This perspective doesn't confirm divine reality, but rather acknowledges the boundaries of scientific authority when addressing transcendent questions. This nuanced position exemplifies true scientific thinking, maintaining openness to possibilities beyond current understanding, while acknowledging the limitations of our investigative methods. We've traversed significant intellectual terrain together, from examining the limitations of materialistic science to questioning evolutionary theory's foundations. From contemplating humanity's cosmic significance to exploring evidence of alternative dimensions, from understanding the theological perspectives of history's greatest scientists to recognizing the paradoxes in our reasoning about complexity and design. These explorations aren't meant to provide definitive answers, but to spark curiosity and encourage deeper questioning about our existence and the nature of reality. The universe contains far more mystery than certainty, and maintaining an open mind may be our greatest tool for advancement. If you've found value in these perspectives, I invite you to continue this intellectual journey. There's a wealth of additional content exploring these fascinating frontiers between science, philosophy, and spirituality waiting for you. Each exploration offers new angles and insights that may challenge conventional thinking, while expanding your conceptual horizons. Should you have time available, consider exploring related topics that further illuminate these profound questions. The intersection of quantum physics and consciousness, ancient wisdom traditions, and cutting-edge cosmological theories all offer fascinating windows into reality's deeper nature. Remember that true wisdom often begins not with certainty, but with the courage to question our most fundamental assumptions about existence itself.